Good morning, 4K families. Coming at you here this morning. This next week's theme is all about Easter, eggs, the Easter bunny, books to match it, etc. So let's jump right into it and see what we have going on. In your packets, which are ready at 8 a.m., you will get a bag of eggs. Inside this bag of eggs, there are 8 exercises. That is for our physical activity. Here's the exercises. They will go into the eggs and go right into your bag. On the lesson plan, I made a typo. I put 10. There are not 10. There's 8. So, given that, you'll get 8 of these eggs filled with an exercise each for your physical activity this week. Some of the eggs have writing and numbers on them. You can kind of see that right here. I'm not sure why they have those on there. We dug up all of our Easter eggs out of storage from last year, Lysoled them, cleaned them, germ-free, but packaged them all up, and some of them have some letters on them and some writing. Disregard, they don't have any correlation to what we're doing this week, but here's your eggs. So those will be going home with you. Along with, you guys will each get a pair of tweezers here. These tweezers go with an activity for the week. Keep these at home. You'll need them in the future for future activities, future art projects, those kind of things. Moving on, so every single week, I typically give you guys a couple sheets of your name, just like this. So here's Annika's. To save on paper and all of that fun stuff, I have laminated all of these sheets here where you can sign in and write your name. So your child will be receiving a dry erase marker and a laminated sheet. They can write their name, erase it however many times. So each week you will not receive any more of just your child's name on there. You will just have this to kind of go by. So don't throw these ones away or toss them out. Just reuse them from week to week. Following that, we are going to jump right into our busy binders this morning here. Let me get a little bit organized. All right. In the busy binders, you will receive your typical packet. This one goes right on top of all the other ones, so right in the front of your binder. In this packet, we have a couple sheets that are starting you on math, some addition sheets. So math comes around obviously in the kindergarten year, and they will start to learn the easy 1 plus 1, those kind of numbers, and so forth and so on. So with their math worksheets there, just kind of doing a guess of like where they're at. Can they do 1 plus 1? If we have 1 M&M plus 1 M&M, do we get 2 at the end? Things like that to kind of review with them. You will notice that math today, if this is your first child going through the system here, math today is Common Core math. What that means is they have switched it from what we learned. So back in the day, we learned how to do math up to down, and then we learned how to do it also from right to left. So we started with that right-hand column numbers, adding the numbers up, carrying the 1 over, adding those numbers up to get our entire answer. Today's math, they go across. The reason why we do that is because our brains are geared to do everything across, not up and down. So I guess the logic behind it is that kids can do like 365 plus 840, and they read it across, they can come up with that answer in their head on their own. I can't even do that. My daughter, who's in 2nd grade, can do it at a drop of a hat. I give her full credit for that one. That's beyond me. I'm still over here doing the right to left, carry the 1, carry the 3, however that goes, and then matching it all up. And typically half the time I pull out my cell phone calculator. So anyway, that is what you will see in this packet here, and that is why your child will be learning Common Core math next year when they go to kindergarten, is for those reasons here. Our brains are geared to read from left to right. So they'll learn it that way. They won't learn it the way that we did way back when. Okay, also inside there, your game for the week, your busy binder game, is a word search, or a letter search, I should say. These aren't actual words. I did not put words on here. I just typed in a whole bunch of random letters all the way across here. And across the top, what it says is it says, find and circle the letter. So when your child is working on this, call out a letter to them. Say, I want you to find every single letter, we'll go with J. Find all the J's. So they take their dry erase marker and they circle all the J's that they can find all the way through here. That gives them letter recognition. So they're saying, okay, I don't have a J in my name, but what does a J look like? They get really good at learning the letters in their names, but then all the other letters, they're like, whew, that was a lot. Also, too, when children see letters laid out like this, it's overwhelming to them. So I do have a smaller version of it. So I've cut it in half. So they can do this side here, and then they can flip it over and do that side. It is the exact same thing as this, just half the size. These are double-sided there, and one side is all capital letters and one side is all lowercase letters. And it just kind of puts you in a ballpark of where your child is at. Typically right now, your child will know the majority all capital letters. They're used to writing in capital letters. Once they get to kindergarten, that changes. And then they learn the first letters capitalized, and then the rest are all lowercase. Things like that. So if you have questions, if this is too challenging, or you say, you know what, my child can pick out their entire name, but how do I get them past that hump to get other letters, please let me know. Otherwise, that is basically it for this week. If you guys have questions, like I always say, please feel free to ask. Shoot me an email, shoot me a text, give us a call, catch me in the morning if you're still coming to daycare here. The other thing I want to touch really quickly on, so I want to touch base on here, is that as we progress into, I guess, more depth of the COVID-19, we are trying to make it so that all of us here at the daycare, we're all essential workers, but how essential is our job right now? So that's what we're kind of basing this off of. So, for instance, Rachel, the owner, she's an essential worker. If she goes down with COVID-19, who steps in and takes her place? Or if I go down with it, who steps in and takes my place? So what we're kind of looking at is me possibly working from home, taking everything that I have, bringing it to my house, and then if somebody does go down, like Rachel, for instance, then I can come back to the daycare, step in, and take her place, or vice versa. So last week I had touched base a little bit and said that we might possibly be getting a Facebook page up and running. We're going to scratch that idea right now. What I'm looking into right now, though, is getting a website going instead. So my husband's working on it. We're going to try to conquer that within the next week or so, getting a website hooked up, because if I am working from home, you won't be able to receive these fun, cool projects from me anymore, but I can still attach all of the learning objectives that you will need for 4K into kindergarten, those kind of things, out on the website. So it would be a bummer that you guys wouldn't be able to do the hands-on and do the art and the science and the learning activities. However, I can still at least keep your kiddo learning. And if you have a printer at home, you can print it off. Otherwise, I can send it to the daycare, have Rachel print it off, and then send it home. You guys can pick it up at the church. So those are just some things to kind of look forward to, look ahead with. I'll see how far I can get on this website. I have several years of college and a couple different degrees, but none of them are a technology degree. So wish me luck. Like I said, I'm making my husband help me with this, over the next week or so, to try to come up with some kind of a website that can hook up links and can help you guys learn a little bit more. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Thank you guys and have a great week. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.